Greetings, guys. This is Mr. J, and as the shirt says, I will be talking about Batman, the original movie from 1989. Part of that is because this Monday, the 20 something or other, we'll just say 23rd, because I think that's the date, was the 25th anniversary of Batman, starring Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. Now, a couple different social media sites, I've gotten into some discussions, arguments, whatever, over the past ever about my feelings on Michael Keaton's Batman and this movie in general. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and clear some of that up. So anytime anybody has a question about how do you feel about that, I just go watch my show, and you know exactly how I feel about the movie. So Batman came out in 1989. I believe I was about to be a freshman or a sophomore. I was about to be a freshman in high school, and I had obviously been a comic geek for a while. Watched Superman in the theater, so I was very excited about it. Like everybody at the time, it was just one of those cool. We finally get to have a Batman movie. Um, then I went to see it, and I admit, before the movie came out, I wasn't thrilled with Michael Keaton as Batman. I always felt that Batman should be a man of stature. You know, I'm not saying he's got to be 6'5" and 275 pounds with no neck, but he's got to be a kind of bigger guy, at least to me. So I never really bought into Keaton, but I went and saw the movie. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I can remember being very bored at one point, and I think part of that is unlike Superman, where part of the Superman mythos is that Superman is in love with Lois Lane. So that's part of that character. That's his movie, and his story is his love for Lois Lane. Batman doesn't have that. Batman is in love with being Batman. He's in love with fighting crime. So to watch a movie where, I mean, there's a good 10 minutes dealt with just him and Vicky Vale in the middle of the movie, of him kind of going through, oh, I don't know if I should be with her, blah, 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 blah. And my whole thing with that is an essential core element of Batman is that he is obsessed with being Batman. He is obsessed with fighting crime. So to me, he's not going to go through some kind of weird, well, should I be with her, should I not be with her? He would just bonk her and be done with her and not think about it. Or if he was actually like her, he would like her and just have his relationship. So that was my big problem, I think. One of my big problems with that movie. My other big problem with it is that Batman is supposed to be one of the top 10 fighters in the DC universe, and he spends most of the time in the movie getting his butt kicked. Has a couple brief moments of fighting, but more often than not, he's just kind of getting handed to him or making stupid mistakes where he gets hit in the head with a crowbar. I just wasn't a fan of the fighting in this movie. They kind of kicked it up with Batman Returns, but I wasn't a fan of it. Years later, when I saw Blade, I kind of went, see, that's what the action in a Batman movie should be, is that kind of level of action. Of course, yeah, anyway, I'm not going to go too far into that. And then the other huge problem I had is that the Joker should not be taller than Batman. And there's a couple scenes where Jack Nicholson and Batman are together, and it's obvious Jack Nicholson is taller than Michael Keaton in the suit. So that was kind of one of those weird things. Now, has the movie stood up over time? I asked my daughter, and she says no. She's 17. I've showed her the movies when she was younger, and she said that she pretty much just laughed through the whole movie because it was kind of cheesy. I don't know if I completely agree with that, but the suit really does not stand the test of time. It just looks clunky. It looks bulky. I mean, that can be said for a lot of movies. It's not really ripping on the Batman movie itself, but that is something when you go back and watch some of these older movies that really sticks out, is just how cumbersome that suit looks. I will give it tons of kudos for several things. Number one, the Batmobile, still one of the best Batmobiles ever to be in a movie. It just looks sleek. It looks cool. I like the whole shields, all that kind of stuff. Um, it does, and you'll see this soon in one of my other videos, it does have one of the best moments of in live action of Batman saying he's Batman. You know, at the very beginning of the movie, he's got the guy over the edge of the building. He pulls him close and says, "I'm Batman." Never in live action has that phrase and that scene been better played out than it was in this movie. Um, this movie definitely set the tone for Batman through the 90s. That dark, kind of noir tone, which led to Batman the Animated Series, one of the best animated series of all time, in my opinion. So there's a lot of that can be said for it setting up that tone. One of the things I don't like that it's set up is the fake muscles and costumes. After this, that was something that just kind of went for a good decade. The Flash TV show, other comic book shows, where they kind of add this fake muscle look to the costume. And then also, this movie introduced the whole thing that the costume was bulletproof. And for me, that kind of took away the ability of Batman because, if it's bulletproof, then we have nothing to worry about. He doesn't really have to be that good. He can just get shot and then get back up, which he does several times in the movie. So that was something I didn't like. But that suit had the oval, just like this. That is something missing from the Nolan films. I like the oval. That was something pretty cool. Michael Keaton's portrayal of Batman was very good. Not my top, but I liked it. Jack Nicholson as the Joker. It was good, but definitely, as dark as the movie was, I thought once he became the Joker, he got a little too campy for it. But all in all, I think that the movie really does deserve some respect. It was the first real live-action Batman movie. It did kind of set up the tone for him for a long time. But let's not try and say, and I've seen this a couple times, where people try and say, well, it's because of Batman that we have the comic book movies of today. No. Let's not go there. Batman had some big stars, but so did Superman 10 years before. So let's not give Batman all that credit. On top of that, Batman and Robin, the fourth film of that franchise, nearly destroyed the comic book movie genre. And it wasn't until Blade, X-Men, Spider-Man that the genre was kind of invigorized, came back, and then you started getting more actors and better actors coming back in. So it did redefine the character, but I think trying to say that movie set up the movies of today, I think that might be a little too far pushing it. So that's kind of how I feel. So all in all, in conclusion, action, meh, acting, good. Is it the be-all, end-all of comic book movies? No. Did it create the genre as it is now? No. Did it create Batman for the 90s? Yes. Again, I think you definitely have to give it some respect, but I don't think we need to make up things to try and make it more than it was. It is still, like a lot of films from that time period, it is kind of dated. If you watch it with that in mind, it's okay. I mean, my favorite movie of all time, period, the end, is Enter the Dragon. But if you show somebody that movie and they've never seen it before, they don't know who Bruce Lee is, that is one of the worst movies ever because it is extremely dated. Or something like the first RoboCop. Wow, they're in the future using tube TVs. There's nothing wrong with a film being dated. That's why we keep doing them. That's why they do reboots. So it's not a negative. It's just a fact. But all in all, the Batman movie, I would give it a 7. It was a great way to start it. I'm glad that they started this way. It was nice to see how the movies went until the Batman and Robin thing. So that's where we stand. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It definitely does deserve some respect, but let's not make up respect for it. That's my thoughts. If you want to argue below. Comment below. Hit me up, whatever. Appreciate you guys watching, and have a nice one. We'll see you guys next time.